Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Good day, students. So this is a tutorial about how are you going to grade using the IGS template. So IGS is your individual grading system. So this will help me manage in order to determine who really did help in your projects, in your outputs per week, and it will also be like a term contribution rating. So how do we do this IGS? So for the IGS, you have to score for each criterion within 1 to 10. So with each of the criteria presented, we have 10 items here. Attendance of meetings, quality of presentation of meetings, so attendance of virtual meetings, no? And then active participation during discussion, respect for team members' opinions, ability to meet deadlines, contribution to project execution, contribution to report writing, leadership and initiative, creative approach, and knowledge and understanding of projects. So with those 10 criterion, you have to rate your classmate within 1 to 10, where 10 is the highest and 1 is the lowest. So the passing grade or rating is 7, okay? Or yeah, it's 7. Then no member can have exactly the same score correspondingly for all items within any member of the team. Well, if ever there are students that have the same score, there will be a note here that will reflect that you have to review your scores because some members have the same score. So your goal is to ensure that there is this cell here remains white or remains blank. Then those gray cells should be filled out. So these gray cells should be filled out. So your names should be again in alphabetical order. Okay, so the A's first until and the last ones are the Z's, and then automatically whatever I place there, for instance, this is student 1, so automatically this is for student 1, so on and so forth. Now, as you notice, there are colors here. These serve as the codes of color for each student. So for student 1 is assigned as red, and for student 2 that's assigned as orange, and the third student is yellow, so on and so forth. So in this case, these are in gray cell, mean to say you are to put here your ratings of 1 to 10. So for example, I am student 1 and I am all the values here are all my ratings. So meaning to say, question, ma'am, am I going to rate myself? Yes, you have to rate also yourself. So for example, I am student 1 and these are all my ratings. When I rate, I don't rate from left to right. Instead, I won't rate from left to right. Instead, I will rate up to down. So meaning to say, I am going to rate each of the members up to down. So it's vertical. Okay, so for example, in terms of attendance of meetings, yes, I'm always present. I'm always giving quality presentation, so on and so forth. So maybe that's a 9, 8, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10. And then the next one is student number 2. So let's just say the orange one is assigned to student number 2. So for student 2, I will rate her. Attendance of meetings, she's not always present, so I'll just give an 8, 7, 9, 10. So meaning to say your rating should be up to down or vertical. Alright, so that's how you're going to do it. Then the next student, let's say for example, I am student 2. My ratings will be on the second column. So all in the second column. Still going from up to down. So it's still vertical. Then I am student number 3. So I will be on the third column. I will be assigned to the third column. So it's not the typical grading wherein you do it from left to right or horizontal. Instead, it's up to down. Therefore, after all the members have graded, these scores are then solved using a formula, and the 9.7 here will be reflected for student 1. So that means all these scores are the grades or the ratings of student 1 by all the members. So since you are only up to 5 to 6 or 4 to 6 4 to 6 team members, then to just leave the last 2 columns if you're just 5, or the last 3 columns if you're just 4. What else? There are times that the review scores will appear. So I'll show you. So I'm going to show an example wherein the cell here is not blank, meaning to say there's an error. More likely, there are students that have the same scores. So if that's the case, the percentage contribution here will not appear. So therefore, not giving a value to your individual grades. So if that's the case, you have to check. So the one way to check is, as you notice, for example, here student 4 has all 10 by 4 students, so it will really come up to an error. So what you're going to do, I'll give this task to the leader. So you just unhide this area. So once you unhide it, your goal is to ensure that the zeros here should be kept as 0. So if there are parts that are 1, then those are the columns that you have to review. So this is column 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 9. So that means, so this one, these are the columns that you have to check. So A and B, A and C, A and E, B and C, B and E, C and E. So if that's the case, you are to make sure that they are different. So here you should not put 9 here, because the column D, or the 4th column, is the same with this one. So you have to change the position. So you might put the 9 above, so putting that differently. Then here you may put 9 here, and then just put 9 here, so long as they are not of the same row, because it's very rare. So you just keep the one with 10. And then as you notice, there's no 1 anymore. So as you notice, if there are already no 1s anymore, therefore the contribution score will appear. And ta-da! Therefore, as you notice, the highest rating is student 4 with green code, meaning he will get the 100%. So if, for example, I will give 4.5 here, then student 4 will get the 4.5. So please do not manipulate the data. Please be honest in grading, and make sure that the black and white part in the right side remains blank, else you have to repeat rating because there are students with the same score. That is the tip that I provided a while ago. Just ensure that they are not of the same row or of the same column. And what else? If there are only 6 members, leave the last rows empty. Instead of rating per column horizontally, you are going to rate it vertically as illustrated a while ago. And if you have questions, please don't be afraid to ask. So for week 2, you are only to provide one IGS only for week 2. The same with the next week's one weekly individual grading system output only per week. So once again, the very critical here is to ensure that the white cell here remains white, and ensure that the percentage contribution will show up here, and all the members will be able to score in the gray cell. And again, do rate vertically, not horizontally. So that's it. That's the individual grading system, and I do hope that you'll be able to familiarize this, because this will be the IGS that we're going to make for the entire semester. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you understood the system. God bless.